Hello and welcome to VivaNista's Tuesday Talks. I'm Kimberly Miller, the managing editor of VivaNista, and I'm so thrilled that you all could join us today. It's my honor and privilege to be sitting here with Claudia Ross, a well-known San Francisco philanthropic woman and founder of Cross Marketing PR, which some of you may know just recently did the public relations and marketing for the grand reopening of the Chanel boutique here in San Francisco. And we're here today to find out how Claudia began in philanthropy and more specifically how she became involved in a very well-known charity and nonprofit here in San Francisco by the name of Raphael House, which is a shelter for abused women and children. And for those of you that are not familiar with Raphael House, there are many events that support this cause, and it's obviously been very successful because it does support women and children. But I would like to share with everyone how you began in philanthropy, and was there a particular event that you remember? I mean, obviously you've been in San Francisco for years and years, but was there an impetus for you in terms of getting involved in charity and philanthropy?
I think it started right out of college. I was actually invited to a tea at the Ritz-Carlton where some older women brought their daughters, and they said, you know, bring an outfit to share with someone who lives at Raphael House. And I really didn't understand what philanthropy was, and I didn't understand what it meant to give back. And that was really the first taste. What I recognized is that you can still have fun, do good, and enjoy your friends. And so for me, that was really something that I recognized, finding a way to do good while still having, you know, a cocktail or a smile or being able to engage with your friends.
Right. I know you're a longtime supporter of Raphael House, and as I mentioned to our viewers, Raphael House is a shelter for women and children. When you initially became involved in Raphael House, excuse me, what did you find, or what did the committee members involved in Raphael House find made their events particularly successful, whether it was the designer showcase or other local events? What were the key elements, if you will?
As I'd mentioned, that tea, that was the first introduction that I had to Raphael House. I'm now, 15 years later, I'm chairman of the board.
Congratulations.
And thank you very much. I'm very, it's one of my proudest roles, aside from being a mother. But it is really about that combination of bringing the old guard, the old donors, with new up-and-coming donors as well, because I think that's a very fine line. You don't want to alienate anyone who's been a contributor or a donor for a long period of time, but you also want to make sure that you introduce the organization to a young, new, fresh approach. And I've chaired galas, fashion shows, cocktail parties for Raphael House, and it's really about finding that great combination, because at the end of the day, everyone's there to do good. And you really have to maintain that balance, and I think that's the trickiest part. But you also have to remember that at the end of the day, this cocktail party or the gala or the fashion show is all about raising money for a nonprofit.
Right. I know you volunteer a lot of your time for your two beautiful boys at their school. Tell us a little bit about that and what made you ultimately choose to volunteer your time in that way and to choose that commitment.
You know, I do so much volunteer activity in San Francisco. I do everything from Global Green to Holiday Heroes, and I'm constantly giving back to my community. But what I tend to not do is, you know, it's sort of like the shoe callers, kids don't have shoes. And I recognize that I have these incredible talents that I just wasn't using within my own family or my own community. So my kids go to public school, and I think with the fall in budgets, these teachers and instructors really need a lot more help. And I think with the community and the moms and the dads volunteering their time, I think that's the greatest gift, because not only do you spend time with your child, but you actually help, you know, the school system that's unfortunately not having enough budgets.
Right, and for those of you, just so you know, I want to say, is it every Friday Claudia volunteers?
Every Friday.
A few hours.
You'll know where to find me on Fridays, regardless of what I did the night before.
But I love that, because I think for a lot of moms out there, and for a lot of people looking to give back this holiday season, people don't realize how easy it is to just take a couple hours out of your week and, you know, go volunteer to school. I mean, you know, as Claudia mentioned, the schools just don't have the budget because of cutbacks, and to just take a couple hours out of your day to go in and, you know, help, it makes such a huge difference.
I actually also, and forgive me for interjecting, but what's also very important is I think employers like their employees to give time and to donate. And, you know, I know some people have 9-to-5 jobs, and it's sometimes time prohibitive to be able to do that. But if you can give up a lunch break, or if you can, stay an hour later, but donate your time, I think that means a lot, and it shows the true character of a person, I think.
No, I think that's great advice. And non-charity fundraisers, I think many of us are so curious in a city that's driven by events. What was the best, and this may or may not have happened in San Francisco, but what was the best charitable fundraising event you've ever attended, and what made it special, what made it memorable?
There's two. One of them actually happened last night, called Holiday Heroes, and it's for the Wendell Rice Foundation. It gives to a variety of different children's charities across the Bay Area. But the difference was that last night I got to bring my kids. So it was nice to be at an event, at a charitable organization, that I could spend time with my family and also do good. The second is an event that I've been going to for the past 13 years, which is in the Hamptons, which is Super Saturday, benefiting ovarian cancer research. And that, to me, is a gift that I give to myself, because not only am I doing good by shopping, it's a really great place to spend time with your girlfriends.
It's funny, because I don't think of Super Saturday as a charitable event,
but
you're absolutely right. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Super Saturday, it is the best kept secret of any fashionable woman. It's an annual trunk show or sample sale.
Designer garage sale.
Designer sample sale that was actually started by Liz Tilberis, who's the former editor-in-chief of Bazaar magazine, who tragically passed away due to cancer. That she and Donna Karen basically started in their backyard.
Right.
It's just a sample sale that's grown into this multi-hundred designer sample sale in New York, in the Hamptons, in a polo field. And you buy a ticket, the ticket benefits ovarian cancer research, and you have access to unlimited samples by throngs of designers, and you get the most fabulous gift bag at the end of the event. That is the best gift bag you've ever seen in your life. As a woman who's chaired events and served on dozens of committees for charitable fundraisers, what is one piece of advice you would give to someone chairing an event for the first time or overseeing a committee for the first time?
Do it for the right reasons. I think certain individuals do it for the wrong reasons. I think that's where you lose sight of your ultimate goal. At the end of the day, charity fundraisers are here to raise money for an organization. If you have that goal in mind, then everything else falls into place. But believe in yourself, and as a chairperson, as a community leader, you're there to guide everybody else and to sort of set the tone and set the pace. At the end of the day, if you're doing good, nothing else can go wrong.
No, I think that's a great piece of advice, and I know Deandra Simmons, who we just recently profiled in Tales from the Chair, said, make sure you know about the cause and that you're as completely knowledgeable about the cause, because if you don't believe in that cause and support it 110%, it's going to show.
I agree.
And when you're asking people to cut the big checks and they ask you a question you're not prepared to field, then it just doesn't reflect well. Okay, so last but not least, a really fun question for myself and for our viewers. What are you asking Santa for this year?
Santa was very good to me last Christmas, so I don't think he can beat that. But
what did Santa give you last Christmas?
A car. A very fun car.
And what kind of car was that?
He gave me a Porsche.
Oh,
so
well deserved.
Yes. I've been driving the mom SUV for the past 10 years, and I was ready to sort of graduate from that. But sorry, I'm kind of embarrassed right now. But I think for this year, it's so funny. I heard Whitney Houston yesterday. They asked her, what are you asking for Christmas? And she said, world peace. And I laughed because
it's almost a cliche, right?
Yeah, it's sort of, but
it's like a beauty pageant.
we're not exchanging gifts this year. We're actually giving all our presents to charities because we have everything.
Right.
I have my family, we have our kids, we have everything that we could ever wish for. But I think in today's economic times, the nation's charities are suffering the most.
Right.
And so instead of giving within our family, we're actually giving to everybody else. And, my kids are aware of it. They understand philanthropy. They understand giving back. And I think that's the best gift that we can give.
I think that's fantastic. I think giving back this holiday season has meant more than ever. So
yes,
thank you, Claudia
Thank you.
Ross. I
So
appreciate it. And for all of you, thank you so much for tuning in to today's Tuesday Talks of Vivanista. Don't forget to click onto vivanista.com and enter our 25 Days of Cheer, which will be concluding soon. And if you enter and play, you can win 2 beautiful key necklaces courtesy of Tiffany & Company. So thank you so much again for tuning in. Thanks to Claudia Ross. And happy holidays.